Well, I can jump in. My name is Brian Vicario, and I'm the coordinator for the Hospitality Operations Program. And I'm super excited to be here and talk to you about our program specifically at Niagara College and talk to you about some of the great things that we're doing within the classroom these days. Terry, would you like to go next and introduce yourself?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. So I'm Professor Terry Canestrero. I teach into several different programs into the School of Hospitality, Tourism, Sport. So more than likely, if you are a student with us, I will have you as a student and you'll have me as a professor. So very excited to chit chat today and tell you all the cool things that we're doing. Thanks, Brian.
Terry's awesome.
Fantastic, Terry. And I'm going to pass the baton to Janet Jacobson. Professor Janet, can I get you to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We appreciate your time and we look forward to interacting with you. My name is Janet Jacobson. I'm the coordinator of the Tourism Management and Business Development Program, the two-year diploma program. And the one thing I will say about all of our faculty at Niagara College is that we're all industry practitioners. We've all worked in industry. So we look forward to sharing with you our passion for hospitality and tourism. Welcome aboard.
Excellent. Thank you, Janet. And Professor Loja Zarumba.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. If you're looking at my background, I'm a diehard traveler, so I'm waiting for the industry to open up, and I'm actually standing on a bridge in Amsterdam overlooking a canal. So that's where I am mentally right now. And I teach into various programs within the School of Hospitality, Tourism, and Sport. So hopefully I will come across you as you travel through the programs. This is a great industry to be in. Like myself, there's people out there that are waiting to get back into the travel mode and boost the hospitality and tourism industry. So we're all itching to get there. So even though it's maybe has been a little bit dormant, it will come back fast and furious because we've all been deprived of those experiences. So a great place to start your career. And if you are in around the Niagara area, even though the world has been shut down, there are always people walking around Niagara Falls. So we are in the heart of the tourism industry. And we welcome you to the program and hope that you can develop your career within this industry with us.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mary Vicario, and I teach into the hospitality, hotel and restaurant operations courses or program with their courses, as well as tourism management. So I will most likely be seeing you during one or more of your semesters here at Niagara College. We're super happy that you've joined us here. It gives you a bit of a glimpse into our online learning platform that we've all adjusted to and are doing our very best to really promote engagement and applicable learning as best we can online. And thank you for coming today. Feel free to ask any questions. And again, my name is Mary. Thank you.
My name is Professor Steve Carroll, and I'm very fortunate to teach in all three programs in the School of Hospitality, Tourism, and Sport at Niagara College. And as professors at Niagara College, we work hard to ensure that you as students have all the necessary skills, abilities, and competencies you need to succeed in the working world. And in addition to that, each one of us has a network of contacts and colleagues and relationships that can help open doors for you. And we certainly focus on making sure that you experience the Niagara College DNA, which is to say that we strive to make sure that your student experience is individualized, personalized, and customized so that you feel part of the Niagara College family. In the hospitality operations program, I teach in the casino, gaming, recreation, and entertainment course, and also in hospitality supervision. So I hope that you'll consider Niagara College as the next step in your personal journey. And if you do, I look forward to seeing you this fall. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's a pleasure to have all of you here with us today. As you can see, I'm following in the footsteps of a very capable and just spectacular instructors here at Niagara College. We have a remarkable group of professors here with so much experience in the industry. I teach primarily into the hotel and restaurant program, and I was born and raised here in the Niagara area, right in Niagara Falls. And Lake, and I'll tell you, it's I've had the pleasure and of experiencing everything that this area has to offer you. And there couldn't be a better place for you to study hospitality and tourism than the Niagara area. We have so much to offer. Now, unfortunately, yes, as Professor Loja said, it's been a little tough in the last year or so, but hopefully within the next year, we're going to start to see everything open up again. So there's so many opportunities here for you. It's a spectacular program here at Niagara College with just fantastic staff and instructors. And I really hope that you would consider, coming and attending Niagara College, because I know that you will not regret the choice that you make. It's a fantastic program. And hopefully we'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Excellent. And definitely last but not least, that's for sure, Mr. Osvaldo Avila, otherwise known as Professor Oz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Niagara College. I just want to be echo of all my colleagues and my peers that you guys are choosing one of the best schools in hospitality in Canada. What do we have over here? Number one is diversity. As you can see, I have an accent. I'm born in Cuba. I've been in Canada for the last 18 years of my life. And it's a great place. And what we offer here in Niagara, no one can offer that. So we have experience, we have vineyards, we have casinos, we have a lot of things that we can offer here. And you're going to see that Niagara College is going to give you all of these tools for you in the future to carve your own future. You're going to see that we are very well connected with all of our students and the students that they've been working in the industry. The main focus for us as a professor is giving you everything that we've been learning to the path and make sure that you're going to be successful in your life. Make sure that you tell Brian Vicario, your coordinator, they're making a cocktail, because he can tell you that he was a great bartender in Hawaii. That is why he met his wife. So ask those questions. So I'm sorry I throw you on the bus, but yes, we love what we're doing, and welcome to Niagara College.
Fantastic. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Dana Brown, who's going to be our organizer for today's session. Dana.
Oh, and I think we just have one more surprise guest, Al Unwin. I think I promoted you on there but I'm not seeing you. There's Al.
Here I am.
Hello.
You caught me off guard, but I just wanted to say hello to everybody and all the faculty here, and excited for you guys to have a sense of the excellent faculty we have. And I was just recalling seeing Professor Oz once in the lecture theater when he cooks up some of the delectables. And if you're fortunate enough to walk by, the treats that he can give you is just unparalleled. So welcome everybody to the session, and good luck. And I hope you make the choice. As mentioned already, certainly hospitality and tourism has seen a tremendous impact, but we are very, very, very much looking forward to when things come back online, and the opportunities are for sure going to be there for you. And there's no better place to study than here at Niagara College. So good luck, and I hope you get all the information you need today. Thanks.
Thank you, Al. And Al is our Dean of so many things: tourism, business, and environmental studies. So he's got—
I should have mentioned that, right?
a large umbrella.
Dean of Business, Tourism, and Environment. So yeah, thanks very much, Dana.
All right, wonderful. Thanks again, Dana, and welcome to the attendees that have joined us today. As Dana mentioned, this is a program-specific session, and we will be talking about two of our leading programs within the hospitality, tourism, and sport area. The first one will be hospitality, hotel, and restaurant operations, which Brian Vicario is the coordinator, and the second one is the tourism tourism management, business development, which I am the coordinator for. And here are our smiling faces in days when we could still get a haircut. So quickly, I will introduce myself and then turn it over to Brian. As I mentioned in the introduction, all of our professors are industry practitioners. In my case, I was born into the business. I'm a multiple generation hotelier. I went to school for it. I've worked my entire career in a variety of different segments within the industry, and celebrating my 13th year here at Niagara College. Brian?
Excellent. Thank you, Janet. And like Janet, I've also industry professional working in places such as Hawaii, as Professor Oz mentioned earlier. I also had the opportunity to work in Whistler, British Columbia, Dubai, and of course here in Niagara is where I started my career. I've been at Niagara College. This is my 15th year now. I love teaching and I love the students, and I want to welcome you to this session.
There was some discussion earlier from some of the professors about the state of the industry, and I'm sure that this is very much on your minds and perhaps the minds of your parents, your guardians, your supporters, because it certainly has taken a great deal of publicity over the last year or so. But in fact, tourism is very much a global industry and provides a global opportunity for each and every one of our students. And it makes significant economic impact to our world economy. And in particular, the jobs that are coming out of tourism are very, very robust. And you will have a very fulsome and rewarding career making a contribution to the economic impact of whatever destination you choose to work and live in. So as I mentioned, tourism provides a tremendous opportunity for employment. And here, specifically in the Canadian economy, it is stated that tourism is the third largest employer of Canadians. And that means that we employ more people than the manufacturing sector, the education sector, or the construction sector. So oftentimes, parents, guardians, financial supporters just don't understand or have not realized the impact of tourism because we're a very quiet and silent industry in many cases, and so it's not as obvious. But in fact, you can give them full assurance that there is tremendous opportunity for you at a variety of levels of your career progression. The industry itself is identified as having 5 sectors, and those are outlined here in the slide. The center circle is the word applied dreams, and that is part of our mission and vision statement at Niagara College, that we're helping you apply your dreams going forward into your world of work. So opportunities to explore tourism range from the transportation area, recreation and entertainment, accommodation, travel services, and of course, the standard food and beverage. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with some of those sectors, but perhaps not aware of all of them. So why hospitality and tourism? As I mentioned, there is tremendous growth opportunity in our sector. And a leading organization that supports the world of work for tourism is an organization called Tourism HR, or Tourism Human Resources. And they are forecasting that there's going to be close to 2.3 million tourism jobs available by 2035. Yeeks, 2035 sounds like a long way away, but it does go quickly. I think about 2008 when I joined the college, and my goodness, there's 13 years have gone by already. But the key for this is not only are there almost 2.3 million jobs that are going to be available, a significant number of those jobs will not have people to fill them. So that means opportunity for you for a rewarding career to quickly gain new skills and new responsibilities and progress very quickly. I believe it was Professor Aloja and Professor Rodnelli who talked about the attributes of our community in Niagara, and we are truly the epicenter or the very heart of the Canadian hospitality and tourism industry, with many, many opportunities for employment, both during your time with us at Niagara College, called the co-op that you take between first and second year, and certainly more full-time opportunities. Next, we're going to share with you a video that was created by the Economic Development Department of Niagara to showcase to you the importance of tourism in our Niagara region.
Home to one of the 7 wonders of the world, Niagara has long been one of Canada's most popular tourism destinations, but the falls are just the beginning. Niagara, Canada has evolved into a full 4-season destination with some of Canada's best wine, beer, food, attractions, and entertainment. Each year, Niagara attracts over 12 million visitors who spend close to $2 billion at the 2,500 plus tourism businesses that employ more than 36,000 people. Niagara Canada's 98 performing arts centers, 96 wineries, 13 craft breweries, 200 hotels and motels, large convention centers, 650 plus restaurants, and Canada's largest casino draw crowds all year round. During the summer, Niagara offers 7 amusement parks, 40 golf courses, dozens of festivals, and stunning natural beauty. And when it comes to attracting major events, Niagara has been scoring some serious players, including the upcoming 2021 Canada Games. Investors like you are taking notice of what's happening in Niagara, Canada. Recently, the region has seen more than $300 million in tourism investments. To find out how your business fits into the equation, contact the Niagara Region Economic Development Team today.
One point of information correction on the video was that they mentioned that the Canada Games were coming to our region in 2021. That in fact has been moved forward to 2022, meaning for you a tremendous opportunity for employment at a very exciting international event. And the infrastructure or the buildings that are being built right now to support this particular event will be a long-term legacy to our community. And what it means for you is that there will be numerous events, conventions, attractions, festivals, and events making use of these fabulous facilities, and hence the opportunity for wonderful employment. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It should also be noted too, there was an earlier question in the chat about co-op opportunities and whether it was paid or unpaid and what those opportunities are. And when we look at the video, you as a student can see that there is a tremendous amount of opportunity for a co-op experience, whether it's in Niagara Falls, whether it's in Niagara on the Lake, or it's within one of the communities. It should also be noted that there are opportunities outside of Niagara, whether it's domestically here somewhere in Canada or internationally. You are always welcome for those opportunities. When we look at the hospitality, hotel, and restaurant operations program, we recognize that our September start is a co-op stream, that the co-op opportunity is presented. If you decide to start in January, there is no co-op opportunity. And like it says in the description, it's a very dynamic 2-year program that provides you, the learner, you, the student, the opportunity to learn so many different types of disciplines or so many different experiences that exist, whether in the hospitality industry. And I use the example of, say, front office experience, food and beverage experience, tourism sales experience, convention service experience, the culinary aspect. And when we look at the team members that have already introduced themselves, these are the key role players that are going to provide these dynamic learning environments for you, the student.
Just with the slide previous, it was interesting that I was there when that photo was taken, and it was done in one of our facilities at the college. And the gentleman that was in the picture there is a graduate of one of our other programs within hospitality and tourism, the gentleman with the red tie on. And he is now the director of food and beverage at the Fairmont in Hawaii. And Brian, is that the same property that you came from where Andrew is now? I can't.
No.
No.
Andrew works in, I just a small correction. He's not the director of food and beverage. He's a restaurant outlet manager. He's definitely succeeding with it. And he works at the Fairmont Kealani on Maui, which is one of the prize hotels within that Fairmont chain. It's a very, very special, prestigious hotel. And he's a perfect example of a graduate of Niagara that's continuing to succeed in our industry.
And his co-op was with Fairmont Hotels, and they are an active on-campus or virtual recruiter for our students. And again, to Professor Beccario's point, those co-ops are available in a variety of locations. And currently with this virtual delivery that we're undertaking right now, we have students that will be engaging in co-op activities all over the world. So now I'm just going to address the Tourism Management and Business Development Program, which also does include a co-op. And something that you might find interesting is that during the first semester, the students are engaged in very similar course deliveries, so that it gives you that opportunity to maybe make an assessment. Is it the Tourism Management Business Development Program that you want to go into? Or are you more interested in the hotel and restaurant operations? So there is flexibility to move from program to program. For the tourism program, as I mentioned earlier, tourism career offers something for everyone and at a variety of levels of responsibility. And within this program, we do focus on the business development aspect, and that sets us apart from any other tourism management program in the province of Ontario. It's very sought after by our domestic students for careers at both home and abroad. And some of the programs or courses that you would be focusing on in this program would be things like entrepreneurism. How do you start your own business? So many of the tourism entities that are out there are started as small businesses and develop into larger businesses. And we've certainly seen a great deal of that during this last year with the pandemic. Many people have gone out and started niche businesses satisfying needs. You also have some accounting and business communication and writing skills. This is particularly important, not only for international students, but also for domestic students, because some of this skill set has been lost through our delivery in the high school levels within the province of Ontario. We also focus on attractions management. And as was mentioned in the video, in Niagara, we have a number of very significant attractions that you have that opportunity to engage in directly and for work experience. Destination marketing is those actual cities or destinations where they are marketing to visitors from a variety of different target audiences. And then, as I said, with the graduates, we are preparing you for careers mostly in the marketing and sales, management, and operations in all 5 of the tourism sectors, be it whether it's museums or cruise ships, hotels, destinations, tour companies, etc. So that's a summary on the tourism management and business development program, the 2-year co-op. Thank you.
So when we look at this slide, the question states, how does the School of Hospitality, Tourism and Sport support your journey? And of course, everything comes back to applied dreams. We want to create a hands-on learning environment. So when you are a graduate and you step that first day in industry, you are ready for industry. And point number 1 states Monday morning ready. Well, the reality of the hospitality industry is Monday morning could in fact be Monday. It could be Tuesday. It could be Wednesday, because every day is an evolution, not as much an evolution, but it could potentially be Monday morning for us in the industry, because our industry sort of never stops. When we look at the innovation program delivery, we are thinking outside the box on the ways in which we deliver our topics and our classes. Because of COVID-19, we've definitely had to shift and we've had to pivot in terms of the delivery model. And you can't look any farther than 2 courses such as HOSP 1400 and HOSP 1410. And both those are beverage-based, food and beverage-based courses. And later on in this presentation, I'm going to call on Chef Oz, and he's going to talk to you about how they have changed that delivery to create these dynamic videos for you, the student, to learn and see what hands-on learning looks like at the comfort of your home. Point number 3 is just the right size. And we're talking about the sizes of our classrooms. And it should be noted, when you come back on site or when you are on campus, our classroom sizes can be very big, but they can be very small. They can be intimate learning experiences. It should also be noted that your faculty want to get to know you. You're not just a student number here at Niagara College. You're a person, and we're going to count on you to enhance our learning environment. Point number 4 being embrace our diversity. I was on a class this week and I had to stop the class because it was a small intimate learning session with 10 different students, and it was a virtual learning session. And as I stopped the class, I said, I just want to point out how diversified this learning environment is. I had a student on the call from Korea. I had a student on the call from Bogota. I had a student on the call from Kazakhstan, Russia, Mumbai, and Canada, and the list goes on. It was 10 different countries of students that were on, and they were all adding value to this learning environment. And finally, the last point is the pathway to further study. So your journey just doesn't begin and end with this diploma program. You can graduate and you can go and definitely work in industry, but there's other opportunities for you to enhance and upgrade your credentials if you are interested in doing so. And I'll expand on that at a later slide. So right now we're talking about bridging opportunities, and that sort of speaks to the last point of point number 5 and those opportunities. Professor Jacobson commented on how the similarities of the diploma programs, whether it's the hospitality operations or the tourism management program, both courses have a very similar level 1, level 2. What this enables potential students to do is to graduate. So say you're a student and you take the hospitality operations program. And after 2 years, you come to me and you say, I really enjoyed this experience. It was amazing, but I want to continue my studies and I want to learn more about tourism. Because there are so many overlapping courses, you are able to bridge into the tourism diploma and do that diploma as well in 1 year. So you'd be at Niagara College for a total of 3 years. However, you would still have 2 diplomas, which is pretty incredible. Another opportunity that so many students take advantage of is that they graduate after 2 years. Their average is roughly about 75% or higher. They apply for a degree program and they transfer into our Bachelor of Business in Applied Hospitality. And after they are responsible for taking 3 bridging courses. Upon the completion of those 3 bridging courses, they then begin their their year 3 in our degree program. So 2-year diploma plus 2 more years of study gets you a degree from Niagara College, which is pretty fantastic. There are also other diplomas within our schools. We have had students go into our postgraduate programs, whether it be in hospitality or sales, and we've also had them go into some culinary programs. So there's lots of opportunities for you, the learner. And finally, it should be pointed out, there are other institutions that we have relationships with. Over my 15 years, I've probably had 3 or 4 students do the diploma at Niagara College and say, I want an international experience, and they find themselves going to Griffith University in Australia. We've also opened up an opportunity for the Cork Institute of Technology, where students can do 2 years at Niagara College, and then they can transfer into their beverage management program at Cork, and they get an advanced diploma there. We also have a relationship with the University of Florida and Disney World. And what that opportunity is, it's an opportunity that extended to our degree students. But I want you to be aware of it because there are some of you that will go into our degree program. And if you choose to apply for this Disney exchange program, you will have courses at the University of Florida, which go hand in hand with the Disney experience as well. So there is a plentiful amount of opportunities for you at the college. When we're looking at this online versus in-class delivery, how do we find success? Well, we find success by providing you, the student, different options, whether it be an asynchronous or a synchronous delivery. A synchronous delivery is one in which you are given a specific time to attend a virtual class. Now, many students take advantage of this synchronous delivery. Many students engage in this environment. Another opportunity for many students is that asynchronous is the right fit for them. And by that, I mean so many of our synchronous deliveries are now being taped. So let's pretend you're a student on the other side of the world. I use the example of, say, a student from Korea. Well, the class is delivered at 1:30 in the afternoon. We are then taping that class, and that student has the ability to access that information at a different time. It should also be noted, if that student has any questions or concerns, they are more than welcome to reach out to one of the faculty members who are teaching the course to ensure that clarity is provided with regards to the course objectives. We at Niagara College are focused on student success, and we're focused on providing you, the learner, the right experience to succeed in our classrooms. So this is an example of the NC classroom, and we are hopeful to be back on campus in the fall. However, we're still waiting for recommendations from the government to see where we are actually moving forward with that. Like it's been stated on numerous occasions, we are about applied learning. And this is an example of a culinary course that's taught in our level 2. So it's a first-year course, but it's taught in the second semester of that first year. And this is Professor Alan Kerr. And in this specific course, he has all the students around one of the culinary showroom classes, and he's talking about different food technologies that exist within the learning environment. So it's a very dynamic learning space. As I stated earlier, there is there is diversity in our classroom, and we're very proud of that. In terms of class sizes, they're varied, meaning that you could be in a class that's quite large of maybe 120 students, but then your next class is 20 students. You will get to know your colleagues here on campus for sure. And it should also be noted that there is a lot of industry professionals, not only within the full-time ranks of your faculty members, but as well as a lot of industry professionals come in and do guest lectures for you here at the college. It's at this time I'm going to call on Dana to show the link of Professor Chef Oz and what he's doing in the classroom right now.
Hello everyone, Chef Oz over here. Welcome back. Today class, what we're going to do is the beer that we have in the last lesson, the same beer that we have in the last lesson, including a new one that we have over here, this nickel brock dark beer that we're going to taste it as well. We are going to pair it with the food. I create a menu with Professor Christina Igman as well Jesse, but we also have another menu more for you guys as a student to pairing everything and put everything together. So the same as last week, we're going to start with the Pilsner, we're going to go with the wheat beer, IPA, the Belgian Ale. We are going to taste these two dark beer, and we're going to do a couple things. And this is so important because what are we trying to do today with all the knowledge that we're gaining is how we can match food flavor with different type of beers, but also you're going to see that we have today a lot of vegetarian dishes as well. So there is not only that you need to have food that will be very rich or food that perhaps is going to be at a base in meat. Other thing that we're going to do today, we're going to taste two beer with two dishes, and I'm going to go like a last lesson that we went with all the beer, because I will try to keep the beer cool, and at the end you're going to see that some of the beers like this dark beer and the same like the ale is going to be at room temperature, but we're going to taste two dishes with two beer, and we're going to start with the Pilsner and the ale. Thank you, and stay tuned.
So at this time, I'd like to call on Professor Oz to sort of speak about those learning experiences and how it's impacted the students and how it's been received by those students. Chef Oz?
Thank you, Brian. I think the most important thing that we're trying to give our students is the opportunity. Yes, we are in the middle of the pandemic, but we are going to do anything for our students. We are going to provide a unique experience for our students. And I think that is very important because that is what we're trying to do with our guests in the hospitality sector, regardless if you are in tourism, regardless if you are in hotel management or BABA. So it's about giving an experience and always giving the best to our students and to our guests. What I've been doing with this is it would be me filming in my house. Sometimes I'm going to the college as well. And what are we trying to do is having those pairings one-on-one. I'm working very close with the rest of my peers. In this case, I've been working with Professor Christina Igman. She's a sommelier, myself as a chef, and how we can pairing all of these things, all of these dishes, and how the students are getting all of these particularities. Flavors that we are trying to provide with the student. It's being received very well. Most of the students, they enjoy this, and sometimes we even interact through the camera and through the social media as well.
We're going to be making Moroccan tea, and there's quite a few steps to make Moroccan tea, as I'll show you. And these are the ingredients that are used. You'll need green tea, and in Morocco, they traditionally use gunpowder green tea, which is a Chinese style, which means, again, it's pan-fired. It's gonna have a bit more toastiness to it and a bit of a smokiness. You're gonna need a ton of mint to make a Moroccan tea. So a big handful of mint and lots of sugar. I'm using sugar cubes here today because I've seen those used in some traditional recipes, but really any type of sugar can be used for Moroccan tea. So whatever you have at home. When you're preparing Moroccan tea, you have to have a lot of water ready. So I've put my kettle on and I have filled it to the top and I've boiled it. So I'm going to be using this water and, discarding some of it and then reusing it and then going back and forth. So you need a lot of water. So if you are tasting at home, I suggest you fill your pot and then boil it, have it ready. And you will need a teapot for this as well, and something that you're going to taste your tea in, so some sort of teacup. And from there on, I'll show you how to do it. have your teapot full of tea. You have mint in there as well, and you've got lots of sugar, okay? The sugar.
Excellent. So we're not going to watch the full video only because we are on a somewhat of a time limit. But what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to introduce Professor Terry Canestraro. And Terry teaches a level 5 course into the hospitality operations program. And I believe it's a level 4 to the tourism management program. And it's about convention services management. And the reason I'd like her to speak is that at times she has quite large classes, but at other times they're smaller classes. And she's going to give some insight to you, the learner, about how that works. Terry, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Brian. So yes, I actually teach every student in both of these programs at once in your final semester. And it is a capstone course, which is just a fancy word for really bringing all the elements that you've ever learned throughout Niagara College and your co-ops into this classroom. And it does take place in a hotel setting. So I teach you how to be a conference services manager. And basically what that person does is really review contracts, introduce themselves to clients, really work with clients and get their conventions or their conferences or events, if you're familiar with that word, all together. And we do group rosters, we do banquet event orders, we set up meeting rooms. Like, it's really a lot of fun. And so this room, or the style of the class is a little bit less lecturing and a lot more hands-on. You actually create a conference plan that when you are potentially going through to an interview and you really like this area, you can physically show the person who's interviewing or send as a PDF if you're doing virtual. And you can say, listen, I know how to read contracts. I know how to make a banquet event order with all the food and beverage details. I know how to put people into different rooms and assign their rooms accordingly. So it's a really awesome course to kind of end your years at Niagara College and kind of bring all of your information you've learned throughout together.
Fantastic. And right now we're looking at our Be World Ready slide. Now, we are hopeful that the vaccine is going to be implemented over the next 6 months. And we are hopeful that travel and tourism is going to come back. And we are hopeful that we will be able to offer you students our Be World Ready experiences. And a Be World Ready experiences provides you, the student, the opportunity to travel and see firsthand what we're teaching in the learning environment. And when I look at myself and my colleagues, we've all had the opportunity to be part of these amazing experiences. As I stated earlier, we have a fantastic relationship with the Walt Disney Company. And pre-COVID, for 6 years in a row, we were taking groups of students to Walt Disney World to see behind the scenes tours of the Magic Kingdom. We had workshops that talked about team experiences within Disney, leadership, as well as their culture. It was a very robust learning experience for selected students who had the right grades and were interested in this experience. We've also had the opportunity to take students to Cork, Ireland. We've had the opportunity to take students to France, as well as we've also taken groups of students to Las Vegas. So there's a tremendous amount of exponential learning opportunities for you students at Niagara College. In terms of graduate success, these are just 3 examples from the hospitality operations program that I'd like to share with you. Andrea Barrio was a graduate of the 2006 class, and she is currently the general manager of the Keg Steakhouse and Bar. And if you're an international student, you may not be recognize this name. However, if you are in Niagara, you know how prominent that restaurant is and how busy that restaurant is. We also had, from a graduating class, I want to say of 2009, 2010, Mitchell Sager. And he is currently the Director of Revenue Management for the Sheraton Suites Calgary Eau Claire. And then finally, we have Veronica Cherakova, who's a Fairmont Gold Supervisor who works on the signature floor within the Fairmont product at the Waterfront Hotel, which is located in Vancouver, British Columbia. JJ, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm going to highlight Allison Meyer. She's an assistant brand manager with one of our prominent wineries in the Niagara-on-the-Lake community. And this was a wonderful opportunity for Allison to take her food and beverage background, her marketing and sales background, and her dedication to Niagara and the sustainability that she felt passionately about to work with this particular winery and to support their brands. Allison has been very active in coming back into our classroom, supporting student projects, interviewing students, connecting on the LinkedIn platform to be a referral. And so you also have the opportunity to come back to Niagara and help us teach new students once you become that graduate. And I can tell you, I know Allison never thought she would be in that position where she was standing at the front of the room speaking versus sitting in the classroom. Another one of our students who's a recent grad but had a tremendous amount of background in a previous industry chose to pursue her personal passion. Although she came more from a science background, she wasn't happy with that particular selection of a first career or first choice of an education. And she's now actively participating in a very interesting forum of both marrying a video conference or video gaming with outdoor tourism. So we have students, when it was spoken earlier about diversity, not only ethnicity or destination that you come from the world, but also age groups. We have students that come directly from high school, and in the province of Ontario, that's at 17. We have students that go and get a degree and then find out that it's not for them, or they don't have the passion for it, they can't get a job. They come back to see us. And we have people that perhaps took a different tour in their life and now want to come back to school. So we have parents in their 30s, students in their 30s, students in their 40s, who are parents who are struggling to work full time, come to school, look after children, but we make it work, and we're very supportive in the diversification of our students. So the last slide will just give you the information on where you can find more details about both of the programs. And in the upper corner are some of the wonderful, talented, and very friendly hospitality professionals that will help guide your journey.
I just want to jump on a point that Professor Jacobson just said. She used the word friendly with regards to our faculty members. I can't stress it enough. They're not only friendly, but they're very approachable. And they want to get to know you, our future students. And I often think about the relationships that we make with our students as they start off as students, but then they graduate and they become industry professionals, but in the end, they become our friends. So hopefully you become those types of students, because it's a great team here at Niagara College, and we look forward to you joining us in the fall term.
I'm just going to add something because I know that sometimes the student might look at this as a negative, being in the virtual environment. In fact, I will tell you, our employers are telling us it's very much a positive, because a great deal of the interaction that you have through your corporate training, through your dealings with your guests, as Professor Terry mentioned about being a convention services manager. Convention services managers right now are holding meetings with their clients all over the world, going through the details of their contract, perhaps changing the contract from the day that it was supposed to have happened in 2020, maybe moving the dates into 2022, etc. So having and developing an online presence and be comfortable dealing in this platform is significant in your career growth. So try and look at this as perhaps a very unusual and unique opportunity for you to perhaps stay in your home destination, but also develop world-ready skills.
We've got one from Manuela. Hello, in the tour you mentioned, for example, the Ireland one. Would the student, how long was the trip to Ireland, and did it involve extra fees?
With regards to all the Be World Ready trips, there is a fee associated with it. Depending on the trip, there's also a reimbursement to the student that once you get accepted, X number of dollars is then paid back to you upon the successful completion. It's a bursary. With regards to the Ireland trip, when we took roughly 18 students on the experience, and it was, I want to say 7 nights, and it was a total of 8 different days. And we had a very robust experience. And I'm actually going to pass this on to Professor Mary Beccario, because I've talked a lot. So I'm going to let her talk about the experience, because she was also on it as well. So Mary, what were your thoughts on that experience?
Thanks, Brian. I knew you were going to do that. Our trip to Ireland was just as the duration, as Brian said. We went through all of the major cities, and we did basically a circle of the country. It involved a few different meetings at the colleges there. So the Cork institution of, yeah, help me out there on the exact name of that one, Brian, but there's one in Cork, and then there's also a college in Galway. We attended with the students these different sessions, because with the Be World Ready trips, there's also a learning capacity to it where there's a takeaway from it as a student. Yes, we are going to these amazing places in the world, but there's something you can put on your resume per se after to say, I did this and this is the experience I had, and this is what I learned. So one of them was actually in a food and beverage facility. Chef Oz would have loved it, where we were given a lecture on gin, and we did a gin tasting, because the alcohol of gin is actually taking it's just gaining huge popularity. And the restaurants and bars there were gaining a lot of revenue, and there was a really big trend happening with it. So they decided to give that to us as a presentation and a tasting. We learned a lot about gin. We learned about the culture of Ireland. We saw amazing scenery. We arrived in Dublin. We went down to Cork County. We went all through the countryside there, around to the west coast of Galway. And half of the group went up to Belfast for a night, and then another group of us went back to Dublin. Another thing to mention with this particular trip is that it was contracted through Contiki Tours, which is a wholesale travel trade in the travel trade, not industry, but a company that puts together these itineraries that is a package. So it includes your airfare, your transportation, your accommodation, and some food and beverage. It's also an amazing company that loves to hire graduating students from Niagara College. I've had 2 different experiences to bring back sales managers from Contiki Tours and tour guide leaders from Contiki Tours into the classroom to gain knowledge for you as students about a different type of job to have after you graduate. Travel the world and guide people through amazing places. Super fun. Anyways, Ireland was amazing. It was a great trip. We learned a lot, and we experienced a lot of the culture there and saw a lot of different landscapes and food and beverage operations, museums, lots of attractions.
And we got to go to the Guinness and taste Guinness there. That was amazing.
We did. Yes, I saw that as one of Oz's options for his beer tastings was the Guinness on the end. There's nothing that tastes better than a fresh Guinness off the draft in their facility, which is humongous. There's, I don't know, the 20th floor that has floor to ceiling windows all around and a big tasting bar in the middle. And that's where you get your pint of Guinness during your tour after you learn all about the beer making process, overlooking Dublin City. Pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary. Just looking at the question, it looks like there's a question and it says, please tell us about our class schedule with hospitality and restaurant operations. How many days does the college take? So at this time, I'm going to call on Professor John Rondinelli to sort of talk about scheduling within the program and what that looks like within the hospitality operations. Professor Rondinelli, could you address this question?
Sure. Thank you, Professor Beccario. So with the scheduling, so unfortunately, like right now with what we're doing, we've done a great job. I think we've done a pretty good job within our department of trying to make sure that your schedule is pretty spread out. We've tried to, we've worked cooperatively together to make sure that everyone, basically none of your assignments come together at the same time. So you're not seeing a lot of the work that you have due on a particular day. So we've tried to spread it out. We've each chosen a particular day of the week in which all of your work will be due throughout the semester. So we know it's very difficult, and this has been a stressful time for everybody in a new learning environment. So we wanted to make sure that we made it as easy as possible for everybody right now. So we've tried to spread everything out. And I think that's something that some of the other programs have been struggling with. And I think we've done a really great job with that for our students. So some of us, we hold our classes on Monday. Any of the synchronous classes will be delivered on one course, we delivered on Monday, another Tuesday, another Wednesday, another Thursday, another Friday. We've tried to spread it out quite a bit for everyone so that we've made it as easy as possible for you to, to adapt to the new learning environment. Now, when we get into, and hopefully we get back into the classroom very quickly and as soon as possible, some of the courses are delivered with, there's 3-hour courses typically throughout the course of the week. Some of them have a 2-hour component and another 1-hour class scheduled with it as well too. Some of them, unfortunately, are 3 hours together, but all of our professors are spectacular in trying to break up those classes and make them as interactive as possible also while you're in the classroom for those 3-hour classes. But right now, and in the fall semester, I think you're going to find it that we've really tried to adapt to this new learning environment and make sure that your scheduling of your classes are pretty well spread out, and that you're not going to have a lot of stuff come together at the same time where it's going to be due. So we want to try to make it as easy for you as possible until we do get back into the classroom. And I know, again, all these challenges with the online learning environment, but I think we've done a pretty good job. And I think most students have been pretty receptive and happy with the way that we coordinated a lot of the work that we have to have done throughout the semester.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It should also be noted for you future students that the way our semesters are broken up is that it's 7 weeks of courses, and then there's a week break. Then there's 7 weeks, and then we come into our Christmas break. After our Christmas break, we resume at the beginning of January. Once again, 7 weeks with that break, 7 weeks, and then that would be the end of your level 2. So we build that into you for you to manage stress, to get assignments done, and to get you prepared for your studies here at Niagara College.
For the co-op, will I be able to work full-time?
I'll take that. Yes, the co-op is a full-time paid position. From the time that you are released this year, for instance, our students will be finished on Friday, April the 23rd. They can start working that afternoon at 5 o'clock if they want, and then they return to school on Tuesday, September the 8th, or Wednesday, September the 9th, back to full-time studies. We don't encourage you to work full-time while school is going on, but certainly a full-time work week of 40 hours or so approximately is the Canadian standard, that you're welcome to do that during the co-op. There is a set number of hours that you must complete to fully complete all of your co-op requirements, and those details we can get you as you get closer, but not to worry, there's lots of opportunity for work. Thank you, Dana.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Janet, Brian.